Yeah, so this first session is mainly more about you than him.
Yeah,
and the next session,
teach me how to help him.
So a lot of this will just be like theory. Like, so, bro, I get it. She's back. All right. Oh boy. So I'm really only gonna show off like one command with him because like the rest of the stuff is in the videos. I'm gonna show off the implied stay because I think it's important to know how to use it. But what I'm really gonna go over is a lot of the theory on how you can communicate with Titan when he comes home. Okay. Because the training can be great, but if there's a communication breakdown, the training goes downhill really fast.
It'd be a waste of money because that's not how you talk to me.
And I know how much each of those programs are. I don't want you to waste your money, so. All right, bro. He's pretty amped up. Yeah.
Glad I didn't bring my partner. He'd have really been amped up.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you said he's already more chilled out than before, so that's the goal, right?
A lot more chill. Like he got two or three jump ups, but that, considering that he usually just jumps into my arms.
And then does he just hang there and just not? Yeah. Dude, he is always like.
Always, right?
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, man, it doesn't matter how long we take him out. He is always.
No, he's a sporty. He's got like a sporty temp. Like he's just always like ready to go. Yeah.
Which is great because.
I imagine him.
My mom is great for that.
I just imagine him waking up like was it like Dracula, where it's just like that.
Pretty much. That's about right.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna so the one command I'm gonna go over is our implied stay, just to show you how that works. That's gonna be like towards the end. What I'm really gonna talk about is he's a really loud breather. What I'm first gonna talk about though is mainly just some of the theoretical knowledge to actually know how to communicate with them. So I'm gonna go over, and this stuff is gonna sound fancy. I'm gonna make it not be fancy, I promise. I'm just putting a bullet point down for you and also for me so I don't get distracted. So we're going to talk about what the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning are. That sounds very fancy. I'm not.
I'm an RBT, so.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not going to overcomplicate it. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about like markers and then like the 2 ways dogs learn. And then that will pretty much cover everything in terms of like the knowledge that I wanted to go over today. Okay. So and we'll talk about the e-collar and how that kind of comes into play with all that. So today's like the theory of dog training. So you do have the four quadrants of operant conditioning. If you simplify it, you just think of like a grid where there's 2 pluses and 2 negatives, right? So there's 1 positive or a plus, right, for reinforcement, and then 1 negative for reinforcement, 1 positive for punishment, 1 negative, right? Okay. Yeah. So if you're doing reinforcement, you want to encourage a behavior that he's doing. If it's a punishment, you want to discourage it. The funny thing is differentiating to the dog what's a reinforcement versus what's a punishment, right? Because like Belgians, for instance, you can put an e-collar on them and they'll start barking and they get amped up more by it. And so you're reinforcing, you'll end up reinforcing this like reactive behavior, but you think you're punishing it, right? Because the dog decides what's a punishment and what's a reward. Or the same thing is I work with a lot of nervous dogs. And most dogs, if you go up and you're like, hey, buddy, he loves that. He loves it. But if it's a nervous dog that hates touch, is it a reward or a punishment anymore?
It's definitely a punishment.
Right. Or at least it's some kind of negative something, right? So it's all in the eyes of the dog. So if you're doing a positive reinforcement, you're adding something to reinforce it. Or if it's a negative reinforcement, you're taking something away to try and reinforce it. I think that hopefully I'm not going to over-explain it, but...
Once again, I'm RBT, so we do that same thing.
Okay, cool.
That's exactly how we do it. With the negative and positive reinforcement.
That's like the
things that you see me do with him, I came straight from work.
Okay, cool. So I don't have to go over that a lot then. Yeah, okay. So we have markers, which is, it kind of goes into like classical conditioning, right? Like, and I'm trying to not use a million psychological words here, but the problem is psychology is also a little bit of a thing I'm a little nerdy about. So I try to like, when somebody's like, hey, you need to go talk about psychology, the instant thing to just like vomit all of it out is too tempting. So if you condition like a person or a dog, a great example that is like in The Office, where there's this funny episode. I think I use this example on every single session I do because it's, to me, like the perfect example is what was it, Jim? I think he's like booting up his computer, and every time the computer starts up and it's like doo-doo, and it makes that boot up noise, he hands a mint to Dwight, and then, like he does it like 15, 20 times throughout the week, and then one day he boots it up, and Dwight just does this, and there's like no mint. It's like they imply like his mouth's like already salivating and everything, and it's because his brain was conditioned already. So what we do is we have two different words that are then followed by the e-collar that are then the dog takes it as this is a reinforcement, because like if he's in a sit, right, and I use a negative reinforcement marker and then I move him back in, he's like, oh, okay, like that means I need to go back in here. Whereas if he's jumping on you and I do the like a punishing marker and then I pull him off and I'm like, don't do that again, he learns like, oh, that was just a bad thing I did, I'm not gonna do it. So the two words we use are like a kid, kind of like on this note. There's so many flies out here.
No, like the bats are out.
I know. I hate this time of the year. So you have your negative reinforcement, which is like like if the kid's about to touch the stove or something, and then just like a loud like nope, right, for the punishment. Okay. And both of those are always followed up by the e-collar. If they're not, that can be really problematic. If you say sit and then he doesn't sit and then you hit the e-collar, you teach the dog that sit means he's getting punished. And then all of a sudden you have this thing where you're like, sit, buddy, and they're like, right?
Yeah, because they're thinking like,
because
say that.
I wish that Titan Lamar spoke proper English, but he doesn't. It's what it is. So, you know, if I can't use English, then I have to use science. So that's kind of how that whole like system works. I actually explained that the quickest I've ever explained it before. That actually went very well. Yeah. I don't know. You ever like accidentally impress yourself and you're like, ooh. Yeah, like I actually did my job that I'm being paid for. Like, I'm paid for a job, and for once I actually did it. No. Yeah. So do you have any questions so far? I mean, you seem like you kind of got like a pretty quick grasp on it. So.
Yeah, I'm a very fast learner.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
No, not really. I think, yeah, it's just about practicing and getting the timing down.
Yeah.
I need to get it.
Yeah, so the big one that I always stress is like when the dogs come home, they're like kind of crazy for like a week. They're like readjusting. You have to really make sure that the chain of like how the e-collar is used is exactly like in order. So you tell dog, you know, dog is commanded to do a behavior. Doesn't listen, you use one of your markers, depending on what it is. So if it's like a behavior you want to stop, like jumping, eating off the counters, right, that's a nope. But if like it's a not listening to a command, we use that right? And then the e-collar. Always after. You never just use it without anything. I mean, because then it's and that goes for anything like punishment. Right. Like, it's just random. It's just if I was like, you know, talking about dog, right? Like there's no like no prediction at all. And you wanna be clear. Yes. Because most dogs aren't actively like waking up being like, you know what, I just want to like start mischief, right? They just don't. There's some kind of communication breakdown, some kind of issue with the clarity. So I lost my thought right there. That happens sometimes. So it's an issue with the clarity. So I always stress it's really important that it is exactly like that. Even if like a dog's barking, you still don't just punish it with like nope. Instead, what I do is I use let's go. So let's go conditions the dog that every time you want to bark at a dog, you just walk away. You say let's go, you come my direction, and it teaches them like, walk away. It looks like the dog just doesn't care. And maybe at some point that is true, but in the beginning, even though it looks like the dog is like, I don't care, the dog's there, internally the dog's running through like a whole like prediction. Which does get me to my second point, which is there's two like main ways dogs learn. The first one we already talked about is conditioning. And the second one is through prediction error, which is pretty much like in the name. It's when there's an error in the prediction. Like I don't know. I try not to oversimplify it, but I'm like, I don't know. It's in the name. Yeah. I also don't like it. I don't like sound like a jerk though, because then if I'm like, it's pretty self-explanatory what it means, and then
If they can't predict, hey, that if Titan knows very quickly and he grabs very quickly what you want and what you expect of him. Yeah. So when he messes up, I get in on him.
Yeah, of course.
He knows the expectation.
Well, and you can't be weak with a dog like him because he's just like...
because he will run you over.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think he has like really like heavy metal music playing every time he walks. Absolutely. Sometimes I set like theme song for dogs.
I would even say like a little Biggie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that would fit. Yeah, look, that would fit too. Yeah. DMX. No.
Like, yeah, that's my thing. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I understand that completely. I take a lot of what you guys do within your training. I do within my job.
Okay.
And within my field.
Yeah.
So it is very imperative that I correct things immediately when they're incorrect. That I follow through with the expectations I've already stated.
So I'm glad you talked about that, because when the dogs do come home and they are like they're testing, right? Because they're animals.
I was just talking about this. I said he's gonna come home and I know he's gonna test.
Yeah. So, but it's important that like sometimes you want to be careful about if you use any formal commands or markers. The reason is you have, like, that first week you got to follow it up. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like if a parent tells a kid like, hey, if you do this, this is going to be the consequence. And then maybe they don't want to do it, but they're like, it's the principle. I have to follow it up, because if I don't, next time they're gonna think, you know, I'm not gonna follow it up. They're like, you know, he's a little punk, he's not gonna do it, right? So same thing when the dogs come home. If you go and you tell him, like, you're like, Titan, sit, like, that's a formal command, and then like he doesn't do it, and you're like, well, I don't really want to hit it. If you don't,
I don't have that issue.
Yeah. Okay.
You know that right now.
Cool.
That's not an issue you're gonna have.
Cool. Okay.
Because he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get bigger. So it's better that you learn this now.
Okay.
I mean, when I say the first time, then you're getting bigger and we're...
Yeah, how old is he again, by the way?
He's only, 9 months?
Sheesh. Yeah.
He's huge.
You're going to have a big dog.
I'm going to have a big dog. So that's where, I'm very big.
At least, but he's really friendly, so I mean, you don't have to worry about...
Extremely friendly. It's just you don't look friendly, babe.
He doesn't. No,
he
doesn't.
Not look friendly.
Like, if you see his body language, he's just like... But his just build is like... yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I knew he was friendly the second I saw him, though, because I was like... Actually, when I come up to the crate, like, he'll hear me, and all of a sudden I hear the tail go... boom, boom, on the crate, and I'm like, oh yeah, he knows I'm here.
He knows you're here.
Yeah.
He's always been friendly. We've had Titan around like babies and everything.
Yeah.
No issue. He's a friendly dog. If anything, he's more afraid of hurting them because he does realize he's bigger than a baby.
Yeah. No, he's never done anything that like annoyed me or anything like, oh, you're mean. The only thing he ever did is like we have our cleaning that we do all day. He got cleaned up like 3 times today, like, you know, food and like any kind of water spills. Somebody put him back in for like 10 minutes in the crate, and he just pooped all over himself, and somebody had to clean him, and we were like, it was like, I'm not joking, an hour before I came out here.
I'm not joking, Titan does that on purpose.
I wondered.
He does that at home. So
does he? Okay.
He gets upset when you put him back in his kennel, and he'll do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Welcome to my world.
Well, I'm only part of your world for 2 more weeks. No.
I noticed that once again, he did that once as a puppy. And I was like, okay, you're doing this because you're upset with me. And you're doing it in hopes of getting out and getting that freedom that you want. What I do, I'm going to clean your cage. I'm not even going to say nothing to you, putting you right back in.
Yeah.
Because that's not an excuse. No, absolutely not. That's a no job.
Yeah, so I mean, that's great. I'm not worried that you're gonna like not back it up, because a lot of people won't. I'm gonna be honest, and so I have to like really be like, you gotta back it up. Like the tone's important when you give it, like if it's like an or a nope, it doesn't need to be like no and right. Some people do that, and I'm like, you gotta like say it like it's your kid.
I deal with behavior.
People teach their dogs way nicer than their children.
I literally, that's what I'm saying. That as an RBT, I deal with behavior. So a stern or firm voice, it is required. Because you might get knocked upside the head.
Of course, right. And you'd rather be a little loud for a second than get hit.
Loud and rather somebody assume that I'm being mean and have to come back and explain it.
Yeah.
Then me having to explain me getting knocked out. Yeah. Like that's a whole other subject.
Your skull is so huge, bro.
Yeah, you got a box head. Ooh. I'm very interested to see what his dad looks like, because he looks nothing like his mom.
Oh, really?
Mom was black and white.
Huh. Oh, look at that tail. So the only command I'm going to show off, just one thing about it, is how the implied stay works. I think you probably saw it in the videos, but I just let people see it in person just so they can kind of see how it works. Titan, come here. Sit. I know mom's here, but you still got to listen. So the kind of rule is like I can like walk away, do my thing, talk to you, whatever, have conversation, and he knows he can't get up until I give him the release word, and he has to stay there until I let him up. Okay, good job. So that's how it is. I just like to show it off just because, just in case there's like confusion or anything. If you just see it in person, it's really simple. You just put the dog in the command and then you release him when you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, do I trust that I could put him over there and like walk all the way over here? I don't think so.
He's still too distracted.
He's not.
Because he's a puppy.
Yeah, well, and honestly, he'll be there once he comes home. But like, it's just the impulse control just needs more like refining. I can't just like. I mean, you can make a dog have like perfect impulse control in a week, but it's also like not humane.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I'm not like about. Yeah, because you also have to like take away their personality to do it.
Yeah, and that's not what I want. My baby, I notice even like still in the videos when you guys are inside, he still has that part of his personality where he insists on sitting on your feet.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's still there.
Right, and that's my thing. I'm like, I just want to show the dog like you're still you. You can be you. You don't have to like repress anything. You just have a job that you have to do. And after work, you can be you. Right.
Are you off the clock?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to think. I've gone over all this very fast because you just got it really fast. So this is great for me. Oh yeah, so what I was talking about with the prediction error part, because I kind of like got sidetracked there for a second. So when we walk past the dog, originally what a dog will think is like, oh, there's another dog. What I want the reward for not listening more than the reward for listening, right? So that's one of I use that phrase now all the time. It's like one of my favorites. I heard somebody say it was you have to make sure the reward for listening is greater from the reward for not listening.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why dogs, if there's nothing going on and they have a treat, they'll go like they immediately like command, right? But then if there's enough excitement, they're like, I do not care about that treat at all. I'm trying to go play with other dogs, maybe hump a couple dogs, you know, right? Get adventurous. So with the prediction error, what's happening is that if we're walking past a dog, he thinks because before, if he pulled, nothing really bad happened. He was like, I mean,
he was used to that tension.
Yeah, like he's just like whatever, like I can do whatever I want. I don't like the consequence, but I like the reward for not listening more. And so you get it to a point where the dog's like, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. And they like mess up what their prediction is. And then eventually that reshapes it to where it's like they now are going to assume if they go up to the dog, they already know you're going to say it, which means they just do it automatically. And you don't have to ask. And it looks very seamless.
That would be so great to be on walks. And I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, so he's...
No, don't keep going.
We're still working on it a little bit with him, but it's a lot better than when I first started with him.
Hey, him not jumping up at the dog that just rode past us in that truck was a miracle, because usually that's what happens. He see and immediately bring home.
Well, and what that fixes too, it also fixes like the barking at other dogs too on walks and the fixation. So like it's just a seamless like walk with me. We're not, and they'll just keep walking and not look at the dog. And it's great. But it takes like you have to have the time to like make sure that it's all nice and ready to go. Because I have to make sure that it looks like it has to be really nice before it goes home, or else if it's not there, or I don't show somebody how to reinforce it properly, it goes downhill really fast again. So like next session that we have is going to be a lot of me handing you the leash and using the e-collar. Did you get an e-collar yet?
It is in the mail still.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on with my area of Raleigh. Everything's been on delay. I've had so many packages that have not been delivered yet. Irritating.
Yeah, I haven't. So I moved out of Raleigh like a year ago. I lived there for the first 20 years of my life, but you know.
It's like every business right now is just having shipping issues. Like we recently ordered a couch. We're having to get it all separated and stuff like that because they can't seem to give us a designated time in which we're going to get it.
Wow, that sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, when you get your e-collar, if not, we'll just use mine. If it's not, like I have mine, and I'll just show you how to turn it. Because you got the mini educator, like the same way. Okay, yeah. So if I show you how to turn yours on, it's the same idea.
Okay.
The only difference is that the new ones, this knob right here doesn't have a lock on it because I have an older model. The new one, you have to push down on it and twist. That way, while you're walking around with it, the level can't accidentally change. So it is actually really nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you have like a really small dog.
Yeah.
And like they can only handle 5, and then like if it twists a little bit, it's on like 15 now, and you're like, wee, and the dog dog's like, ah, like, yeah,
smoking.
yeah, like if you have like a wiener dog or something, and it just like accidentally like twists like 5 up higher or something, you don't. That happened once actually with me. I felt really bad.
I would.
Yeah, I felt terrible. Cause like he could barely do like, I think he was like 4 out of 100 on the collar. Like, cause like you could probably, he was like smaller than a baby. I mean, he was just like, he was like a true like dachshund.
Yeah. Pure
breed, tiny, nubs for legs. Like if he sat down, it kind of just looked like he was standing with his arms down. Like, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Titan, let's go. Let's go. Good job. There we go. See, so like right there, he got a little fixated, and I just like reinforced it twice, and he backed off really quick too. So.
And I like we gave him a moment to make a choice, and he chose to fixate.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is I do make sure like you cannot have a good learning experience if you don't allow somebody to learn, right? So that's really important with any dog. I would say him too though, because he's got to break out of old habits. Before he was just like, I'm just gonna go and investigate. Now he's like, let me think about this. Hold up for a second.
Is it really worth? Yeah. But I know what's coming. What level do you have his e-collar on?
So I have it.
The big boy.
Yeah. So. The e-collar when you're training is a little more like dynamic because what the level is for him like in a room is way different for him than if I took him out like a really busy public area. Okay. So like I had it on a 13 there. That's kind of what he sits on in the room. It was a little low. Like he didn't like it, but it wasn't like enough to really like stop him. So I would say out here it's like a 15. Okay. He is very reactive to the e-collar. Like first time I worked with him, he jumped. Like he kept jumping. I was like, and I kept turning it down, and then I learned that he was doing it on purpose.
He's dramatic.
No, he is, yeah.
I tried to give you guys a heads up, like, I promise you.
Oh no, I'm working with some drama.
He's a drama king. I've noticed that. Like when it rains outside, he's like a.
No, I'm working with like exclusively drama queens right now. I have this dude, a shepherd that's like 9 months old, and a shepherd husky mix. They are all dramatic, all 3 of them.
Shepherd husky mix? You're asking for problems.
She's really sweet. She's just like too smart. So like she can figure out ways to not listen, and I'm just like. She's really sweet though. And she genuinely looks like if you had 50% shepherd. Because you know how a lot of times a mix will look dominantly like one breed and then maybe the coat's a different color? That dog actually looks like a true like 50-50. I almost thought it was a Great Pyrenees mix or something. Yeah, like that's how much of a 50-50 it is. So it's like, it's got like the shorter